Good morning and welcome to the Oasis Center for Spiritual Living, where we come together as one, providing spiritual tools for daily living. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Reverend Tucker. I'm the senior minister here at the Oasis. And I always like to acknowledge the team that God has provided me because I couldn't do this without them, literally. So let me start out with my faithful assistant, Faith, who has been my assistant basically since the day she was born. I think she was 3 weeks old when her dad brought her to church the first time, and he was working the soundboard with one arm and holding her with the other arm. And then when she was old enough, she just crawled right up on stage like she owned the place. And so we left her there. We figured she belonged up there, and I just stepped over her while I was talking. And then we had her sit up on the podium when I would do announcements. And I think most people paid attention to the announcements better because she was up there. But anyway, she grew up about 6 blocks from my house and was always, well, not always at my house, but a lot of the times her dad would he was a tow truck driver, and he would do these out of town tows, and he would drop the girls at my house for several hours. And I'm a project person, so they got to do projects when they came to my house. And so when Faith wanted a real job when she was 14 and a half, I said, yeah, I've seen your work. Come work for me at my ozone business. And then when we went live for this during the pandemic, I asked her to be my ministerial assistant, and she said yes. So we are so blessed to have Faith. She's behind the scenes doing everything that I don't do. It's very hard for me to multitask when I'm speaking because I get really sidetracked and then it takes longer. So she does almost everything behind the scenes, including when we're in a facility, I can look out and see the faces looking back at me, but I don't have that ability here. I get a number. I don't even get people's names. And so I say, please say hi, good morning, hello, whatever way you want to greet us and let us know that you're here. And she's the one that will answer as me. I go back later and look at everything to make sure there isn't some question I need to answer. But I think that's only happened twice in like 3 years. So she's really good at what she does. So she's behind the scenes doing all of that. And of course, she is our soloist. But today we have a couple of really cool videos for you instead that I think you're going to love. So thank you, Faith, so much.
Thank you.
All right. And then here's the wise and powerful Oz. He is my partner in crime and has been since 1998. Until he moved away, he was my first baby practitioner, and then he was my board president for 7 or 8 years. And then he moved to Florida, and we lost the ability to have him be practitioner of the day. So when we started doing the live services during the pandemic, I asked him if he would be willing to do that, and he stepped forward like he always does. So thank you so much, Oz. He is our practitioner of the day, and what that means is that he's going to do our invocation, our benediction, and he's available at the end for our 1-minute miracle, and I'll talk a little bit more about that later. But I couldn't do this without you, so thank you, Oz. I love you. All right, and so the topic today, we've been doing the Advent topics, and the topic today is hope. And that's all I'm going to say for right now. We have a lot going on this morning, so I want to make sure and get to all of it. All right, let's see. There is a watch party button. So if you would like to invite your friends, this is a great way for them to see what kind of Sunday service they can expect. And of course, you can talk amongst yourselves to answer any questions they may have because it's private, so you're not bothering anybody else with those questions and answers. So click on that watch party button and invite all of your friends. In the meantime, close your eyes if that feels comfortable. Allow the service to uplift and inspire you as we move into our centering song.
Surely the presence of God is in this place. I can feel the mighty power and the...
Oops, that didn't work out. Sorry.
Surely the presence of God is in this place. I can feel the mighty power and the grace. I can feel the rush of angels' wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of God is in this place. Surely the presence of God is in this place. I can feel the mighty power and the grace. I can feel the rush of angels' wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of God is in this place.
I remember always thinking, surely the presents are underneath the tree. I can see all the things you bought for me. Anyway, I know that God's presence right here, right now, inhabits all there is, for that is God as we conceive of it in our movement, that God is all things, that God is eternal, that God is infinite and ever present, permeating all of creation, and that all there is God. And I know that because of that, God must be right here inside of me, inside of you, inside of everything we see and all we do. That one presence that animates and uplifts and inspires, regulates and maintains, creates and destroys. It is all one thing. And we are all one in that. And knowing that that presence is right here, right now, whenever you are watching this, I give thanks for the blessings that are inherent in this situation. I let it be, and so it is.
And so it is. Thank you, Oz. This next song is one that Reverend Fairy Lane Silver wrote during her practitioner training. And it's a great way for us to remember that we are connected to all of life. It's a good meme to get stuck in your head, by the way, too. Here it is. We are all one.
We are all one. We are all one. We are all one in it. I hear it and know it, my being. Spirit is all I am seeing. For God is all there is. Grateful am I to be living, open to what I receive, honoring what I've been given, sharing now what I believe. I remember the oneness around me. I surrender to infinite light, knowing the love that's surrounding me is within me by day and night. And we are all one. We are all one. We are all one in it. Yes, we are all one. We are all one. We are all one in it.
Yes, we are all one in it. So if you're here, please say hi, good morning, hello, however you'd like to greet us. When we're in a facility, I can look out and see those shiny faces shining back at me, beaming back at me. When, on this software, I get a number. I don't even get names. So I don't know who's here. So please say hi, good morning, hello, however you want to greet us. If you like something that you hear, whether that's the music or something I say or something that Oz prays, use that like button. If you love it, please send us hearts because we love to get love. And if something strikes you as powerful, by all means, use that wow button. It lets us know when we're on track. So definitely we like the feedback. So do that for us. All right. Without further ado, Tina, Faith has a really special video for us right now. This is her choir singing. What is the song?
Hanukkah, oh Hanukkah.
Okay, I'm going to take myself out.
Hanukkah, come light the menorah. Let's have a party, we'll all dance the hora. Gather round the table, the table will treat you. Dreidels to play with and latkes to eat. And while we are playing, the candles are burning low. One for each night they shed a sweet light to remind us of days long ago. One for each night they shed a sweet light to remind us of days long ago. Hanukkah, oh Hanukkah, come light the menorah. Let's have a party, we'll all dance the hora. Gather round the table, we'll give you a treat. Dreidels to play with and latkes to eat. And while we are playing, the candles are burning low. One for each night they shed a sweet light to remind us of days long ago. One for each night they shed a sweet light to remind us of days long ago. Hanukkah, oh Hanukkah, come light the menorah. Let's have a party, we'll all dance the hora. Gather round the table, we'll treat you. Dreidels to play with and latkes to eat. And while we are playing, the candles are burning low. One for each night they shed a sweet light to remind us of days long ago. One for each night they shed a sweet light to remind us of days long ago.
Thank you, Faith.
Thank you.
Oh, goodness. I love listening to high school choirs. I just think it's so cool. Like, you guys work all year on it. And then you do the performance, and it always sounds so amazing. So thank you for that. All right. So today we're going to be talking about, we've been doing the Advent topics all along. Advent, actually, in most Christian churches, is about preparing the way for the second coming of Christ. So all the Sundays leading up to Christmas, which includes like right after Thanksgiving, are the Advent topics, which are love, peace, hope, and joy. So I rearranged those a little bit because we do a metaphysical Advent anyway. So we take quite a bit of liberty with how we do it and what we say. So I don't feel bad about rearranging it to my benefit. Usually we do, we light the menorah during Hanukkah, but this year I screwed up. I was thinking it was this weekend was when Hanukkah started, and for some reason, so I had Tina do joy last week. But actually, last weekend should have been joy because it started on December 7th and it ended on December 15th. But being who I am, I just think it's okay to light the menorah anytime. So we're going to do that this morning as part of Hope. And then next week, we're going to have Christmas Eve actually falls on a Sunday. So we're going to do it in the morning, but we're going to have a Christmas Eve service. And then the following Sunday, we're going to be doing two things. We're going to be doing a burning bowl exercise to get rid of all the stuff in the past that we want to release. And we're going to do visioning for the new year. It's a lot, but I think we can get it done. So anyway, so today we're going to be talking about hope. And I'm not talking about the kind of hope like, oh, I hope this will happen. Rather, that we're seeing hope in the world, that there is an experience of hope coming our way, right? And for me, that's what this is all about. When we're in a facility, we light a Christmas tree, and we do the Kwanzaa candles, and we light the menorah. I'm particularly blessed to have been raised Orthodox Jewish, so I have the wherewithal to be able to present to you the Hanukkah candles in the menorah. So in my ministry, I really like that we celebrate all of the holidays, because truly, whether you're Jewish or you're Christian, or you follow Kwanzaa, or you, whatever your bent is, I think that we are the church of everybody. And so for me, that's what it represents when we do that. But it also represents lights, because all of those holidays are about lighting candles, or lighting the Christmas tree, or lighting something. And truly, Hanukkah is called the Festival of Lights, and for good reason, because you do light the menorah. So I want to give you just a little bit of background on this. Hang on a second. Come on. So back in the olden days, there was a four brothers. In Greek, their name was Maccabeus, but we call them the Maccabees. And it was Judah Maccabee and his four brothers. Actually, there's five of them, I guess. And Judea was ruled by the Syrian ruler Antiochus IV, who didn't allow the Jews to practice their own religion in freedom. Instead, he wanted the Jews to worship his God. So there was an insurrection, go figure, like there always was an insurrection against him. And the Maccabee brothers went off to fight the Syrian army. Well, while they were gone, Antiochus ordered the city destroyed, including the temple. Now, they didn't just destroy the temple. They went in and they did all kinds of ungodly things to make it not a holy place anymore, including the altar. They desecrated the temple, violated the altars, and like I said, did all kinds of obscene things in the temple. I'll leave you to your imagination on that. But it was his belief that if he destroyed the temple, he would destroy the hope of the Jewish people. He didn't know the Jewish people very well, obviously, because with the history that the Jews have had, nothing has destroyed their hope. It's kind of crazy. All of these different people and all these different rulers and all these different groups have been trying to destroy the hope of Israel for a very, very long time. And right now we have that same thing going on. But so the brothers run off to fight the Syrian army, and the temple gets destroyed, and they come back and they see the destruction, but they have the hope of rebuilding it. And so there was one lamp, they called it a candle, but it was actually an oil lamp. And they had enough oil to last one night. And so Judas went on, Judas Maccabee. Judas went off and went to get more oil. And he was gone 8 days. It was an 8-day journey. And miraculously, that one night of oil lasted the 8 days that he was gone. And that's the miracle that is celebrated. And that's why there are 8 Hanukkah candles and 8 days of Hanukkah, right? So I'm going to light the candles right now, but I want to tell you that, like, when you read a book, when most people read a book, they read like left to right, right? And when we're reading the Torah, when the Jewish people are reading the Torah, they're reading right to left. And so when we light the candles, we're reading them from right to left. So I'm going to light them now and say the prayer, and Faith is going to post the English version up on the screen. I'm sorry, my back is kind of out, so I'm moving very gingerly these days. All right. So the first thing we light is the Shamas candle. The Shamas candle represents the one night that the oil was supposed to burn. So we start with lighting that. And we use this light, if I can get it lit. Oh, come on. We use this light to light all the other candles. There we go. And again, we start from right to left. Baruch atah Adonai. This could take a while. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech ha'olam, Asher Kiddushanu B'mitzvasav Mitzivanu L'chad L'kner Shel Hanukkah. Blessed art thou, the King of the universe, who has commanded us to
Blessed art thou, the King of the universe, who has made us holy through his commandments. Command us to light the Hanukkah candles. Lights.
Thank you, Faith. So all of a sudden, I can't do anything multitasking when it comes to talking. There we go. And there you have the Hanukkah candles. So on the first night, we normally just do one candle, and then the next night we do the shamas and 2 candles, and then we do the shamas and 3 candles until the last day when we light all 8 of the candles plus the shamas. And now I have a very special little surprise for you. Maybe it's not a surprise. Some of you have been tuning in every year. But it was a surprise for me. This is Tina Giuffre, who's also one of the singers in our congregation. And one day on Hanukkah, when I lit the menorah, she said, "Do you mind if I come on stage and sing something for you?" And I was like, that would be awesome. And here's what she sang. If I can get it to start here. There we go. Lynn? Wasn't that special? When people do things like that for me, it's always so heartwarming because, I didn't expect her to do that. So it was awesome that she did. Let's see if I can't get my screen back the way I usually have it. So that's okay. I don't need to see myself. All right. And so for me, lighting the candles is not just about Hanukkah, but it's about hope. When ships are coming in, there's a beacon of light that gives them hope of land. And even like on the runways at the airport, the lights guide in the planes. And, I may be the only one that experiences this, but when it snows, we all like a white Christmas. But when it snows, there's a light in the air that is just crazy. There doesn't seem to be any rhyme or reason for that light to exist, and yet it does. And for me, that's about a hope. Again, we're not talking about, I hope this will happen or I hope that will happen. Right now, with everything that's going on in the world, we're living in a post-pandemic, post-COVID world, which has not necessarily turned out to be exactly what we thought it was going to be because they keep coming up with variants of it. And for me, I will always be living in a mask until my husband dies. So for me, the world has changed permanently. But I still have hope for a better experience anyway. And that's pretty much what we're going to be talking about here. Not the hope, I hope it gets better, which is a verb, but the hope that there is a better life. Do you hear the difference? That is using hope as a noun. And so I wanted to talk a little bit about how this church got started, because I think even though some of you have already seen or already heard this story, I think it's an appropriate story for this because it does talk about hope. When I first started out, I didn't really want to be a minister, but I did the School of Ministry anyway. I told Dr. Marjorie Stamm, one of my mentor ministers, I don't want to be a minister. I just want to take the classes. And she said, "Oh, honey, that's wonderful. You just do you." She was just like that. All this grandmother love, the grandmother you always wish you had. By the time I helped my friend, Reverend Marilyn Earhart, that spoke a few weeks ago, create a church up north on like 120th and Colorado Boulevard. I think that was like Broomfield or Brighton or something. By the time I started that church with her and was her board president, I had pretty much decided I was going to be a minister. I'd always seen Lynn up there. I had never seen myself, right? And as I began to grow in her church, as we grew the church, I began to realize that it was something that I could do. And so we built that church. And then when I graduated from the School of Ministry, we founded the Denver Church of Religious Science, Reverend Jim Chandler and myself. And our partnership did not really work out. And so I went, my co-ministry is what we were calling it. So I went back to Reverend Marilyn's church, Sacred Circle Church, and did my healing work. And part of my healing work was I was listening to this tape by Alan Roth and Carolyn Mace. And they were talking about calling your spirit back, because in relationships, you always leave parts of yourself behind when a relationship ends. And so I was realizing that I had left behind a part of myself with the congregants. I had left a part of myself behind with the staff. I left a part of myself behind even with that co-ministry that didn't work. And on the tape, they were talking about standing in a lake or a river, I think it was, and calling your spirit back. And so when I started doing visioning, I was thinking I was going to get an answer like that, or I was going to get an answer like, I don't know, swim with the dolphins, something fun like that. And the answer that I got was open another church. And I was like, hell no. It's a biblical word, And I just couldn't see it again. It's a lot of work opening a church. It's a lot of work creating something new. And I had done it twice and I didn't want to do it a third time. Well, a minister without a church is a very scary thing. So in the meantime, while I was doing my healing work, I was, redoing my house. We redid the kitchen completely. We redid the bathroom floors and the toilets and the vanities and all of that, not doing the showers or the tubs. Okay. We redid all the windows and the doors in the house. And at one point, he took out my bathtub just because he wanted to do something with it. I can't remember exactly what it was. It had to do with the flooring and something else. I think the tiling, I'm not sure. But the bathtub itself didn't go away. And but he pulled it out so I couldn't use it. And so he said, I'll be back tomorrow to finish it. And I said, okay. In the meantime, I'm doing this visioning. And I'm going, hell no. And he calls and he's like, yeah, I got to do this and I got to do that. So I won't be there for a while. 4 months later, as I kept doing visioning and I kept getting the same answer and I kept having the same response, I still didn't have a bathtub. Now, for those of you who don't know, I'm a bath girl. I will take showers. Not that I don't take showers, but I prefer to be in the bathtub, and I like to like even wash my hair under the faucet, because my bathtub to me is a very sacred, private, calm, stress-free place where I do my meditation and my prayer work, and I just create this beautiful little safe environment for myself. So I like taking baths. So here I am without a bath for 4 months. And, it, you know, for most people, that wouldn't be as big a deal. But for me, it was a really big deal. And finally, I did this visioning and I got the same answer. And I went, fine, I'll open a church. Okay. And then, and like 10 minutes later, the guy calls, I'll be there tomorrow to put your bathtub back together. And he did. And what I realized is, and we'll cover this in visioning in a couple of weeks, but what I realized is that you can always say no to the vision, but there are going to be consequences to saying no. Usually they're not as dire as my circumstance was, but there are consequences to that. And so I mentioned that because this church came out of a hope for a better world and came out of a hope for my personal healing journey. And this church has helped me heal more than I would have if I'd been in someone else's church, right? So I bring that up now because that is about hope. And when we shed the light on dark places, hope is alive. And you're really in a dark place when you don't know where you're going or what you're doing, right? Our founder, Dr. Ernest Holmes, said, suppose a room has been in darkness for years and we bring in a light. It would make no difference how long the room may have been in the dark. When the light appears, the darkness disappears. The only animal that I know of that can see in the dark, maybe I'm wrong about that, but I think the only animal is a cat. Because cats have some kind of difference in their eyes that allows them to see in the dark. And I wish that without, you know, flashlights and other devices that we've created, that we could see in the dark, but we can't. And so what we do is we apply light to the darkness, and that gives us hope, right? And so that's what I see when I talk about lighting the Hanukkah menorah, or we used to light a Christmas tree. We had a lighting ceremony and everything, Christmas tree. And also then we had the Kwanzaa lights that we would light I think we lit them twice. I don't remember. Donna, if you're watching this, you might remind me how often we lit those Kwanzaa candles. But anyway, for me, it's about applying light to the darkness, which we really need in this world right now. We need light to shine on Israel. We need light to shine on the Palestinians. We need light to shine on the Ukraine. We need light to shine on Russia. We need light to shine on the Republicans and the Democrats. And we need light to just shine because there's so much going on in the world. Raymond, who's been in town from Holland, was just telling me that they have a new prime minister. And that new prime minister is anti-immigrant and some other things. And so I think, you know, that Holland needs the light as well, because there's so much going on in the world. There's so much hatred and angst. Even the moving guys. For those of you who don't know, my husband fell down and broke his hip and was in a rehab center. And so we had to clear out the family room because he can't do the stairs. And we have a 2-story house. And so I hired these movers to come in. They were called college hunks. They weren't. One was 42 and the other one was in trade school. Just saying, they weren't college students. Anyway, and it's weird because the 42-year-old guy walks in, and you know I have a big M on my forehead anyway. So he walks in and he starts talking about how people are afraid to light their Hanukkah menorahs because of all the hatred that's going on. And I'm thinking, how does he know? Like, there's no menorah in my house. There's nothing that signifies Judaism in any way, shape, or form. Why is he talking to me about this? He later went on to give me his whole life story, but that's a whole other thing. That's what happens when you have an M on your forehead. People just start emoting at you. But I thought about that. I even thought about, here we light the Hanukkah menorah, and truly no one knows where I live. So it's not like there would be a repercussion for it. But when he said that, I had a moment where I thought, should we light the menorah? You know, you think about these things. And what I finally decided was it's so important for us to bring light into that darkness, that is really important. And because nobody knows where I live, and because it's not like something's going to happen to me, if we do that, then let's see if it'll, I can't get it to look like it normally does. Because that's so important, then of course I'm going to light the menorah, right? Because it does signify bringing light into the darkness. Don't you feel more happy and joyful around Christmas? I'm not talking about the Christmas shopping, trust me. I actually witnessed, I should say, I didn't get involved, but I witnessed these two women fighting over, I can't remember if it was a sweater or a jacket. And it kind of ruined shopping for Christmas for me, because one had one arm, the other had the other arm, and they ripped it in half. And I thought, how biblical, you know, but when, you know, somebody said, and I don't remember the exact story. The Bible is not my forte. But they were asking, was it Solomon, they were like, split the baby in half, you know? And the one woman said yes, and the other woman said no, let her have him. And that was a whole biblical, you know, lesson. And so I'm sitting here witnessing this and thinking about that, and thinking about how hope in the world is not present in that situation, right? And so I try to get the Christmas shopping done by Thanksgiving, so I don't have to be out in the world when everyone else is Christmas shopping. Nowadays, I'm really blessed that I don't need to do Christmas shopping because we're not doing gifts around the family anymore. And because you can now buy anything, just about anything online, and get the special deals. So for me, it's a little bit better. We don't get together at Christmas or Thanksgiving either. We were doing it by video, but now that my sister is gone, I don't think we're going to be doing that even. And so Christmas has taken on a totally different meaning for me. But I think about how the light makes me happy. If you are out and about and you happen to see at night, and you happen to see the Christmas lights on people's houses, some are overdone, I will give them that. Some of them are very subtle, but I always feel happy when I see that. And I think about when you bring light into the darkness, that it brings that joy and that hope for a better life. And all of that is, I think, what runs through not only this holiday, but Christmas and, you know, any holiday of light, because it's all about the hope of humanity. It's all about knowing that there is a better world and the hope that it will come to fruition. It's a great time for us to explore hope. Dr. Ernest Holmes didn't say a lot in the textbook about hope, because he said the minute you say hope, people start to think about wishing and hoping and praying. And so it's hard to describe hope without all of that. I think hope is a noun, not a verb, is the best way to do that, because truly when you open your heart to the hope of the world, the hope of greater reality, then you're talking about the great, like capital H hope, where if you're hoping and wishing and praying for something, it's the little h hope. But hope is God in the world, knowing that we have a choice. We can change something by changing our thinking. And that gives us hope. When we talk about hope, that's what we're talking about, the hope of a better life. Whether we're talking about love, or we're talking about wellness, or we're talking about prosperity, all of that is God in the world as hope. And God doesn't just pick us up and just to drop us, right? I mean, I feel like God planted me in this church, literally, because I was doing the visioning, and that was the answer. What do I need to call my spirit back? Build a church. And so I feel like God placed me in this church, and I don't feel like God's going to drop me. I will continue to do this until I feel like this is not my path anymore. And that will be God within me saying, hey, it's time to stop. And, God didn't rent me for entertainment, right? So I do know that this is the perfect place for me. This is the perfect life for me. And there is hope for a better world as long as I'm talking to people about hope. Because I think we get lost in the darkness when we watch the news and we see that Israel's at war and Ukraine is at war, and we see what's happening to the immigrants that are coming across, and we see all of this stuff, and it places us in a darkness. And so the more I can talk about light and the more I can talk about hope, the more I feel like God's message, because I'm just the messenger, it just flows through me. The more I can talk about those things, the more light I can put in the world. And so let's work this week as we go forward into the week, realizing that all of this, all the light that is shining right now, the Christmas lights, the joyous expressions. Hi, Fred, Kathy, Marlene, and Joy. All of the lightings of the menorah, the lightings of the Christmas trees, the lightings of the Christmas lights on the houses, all of that is designed for us to remember that there is hope in the world for a better life. And so let's just do that this week. Let's focus our attention on the hope of the world, a hope for a better life for the Israelis, for the Palestinians, for the Ukrainians, for the Russians, for the United States, for the Democrats, for the Republicans, for each state that is in the Union. Let's focus our attention on bringing the light to the world and recognizing that there is hope for a better life. Will you do that with me this week? Let's have a prayer. So right now, I just turn my awareness to the infinite power, the infinite presence, the infinite life of God. To the light which shines through us as God. For that is who and what I am, my very essence, my very life, my very being. And every thought, every action, every deed is guided and led by that ancient wisdom of the ages that is God shining forth through me. It flows through all of life. So I know that that is so for this team that God has granted me. For Faith and for Tina and for Karen and for Elaine, for Oz and for Faith and for Lynn. For this team is God's team. And God flows so perfectly through all of us in shining its light through us, that we are guided and led by that ancient wisdom of the ages as it flows through not only me, but the team and through everyone who is listening to this, whether that be in real time or later on. For that same ancient wisdom of the ages flows through all equally. There is no place where one leaves off and the other begins, because we are all one. Mitaku Yasin, all my brethren, we are related. So I bless this week with experiences of hope for the world, hope for a better life, hope for the light of the world. I celebrate with everyone that this is their experience, our experience. And I know for every name that is in the ministry of prayer right now, that that is the truth also. Because no matter what we're experiencing, God is the answer. God is the guiding force underneath all of it. God is the light that shines within. So I pull back the veil of darkness here and allow the light to shine through as I claim this good in their names as perfect and good and very good. So my heart just fills with gratitude to know that this is so, to be of service in this way. And so I just let it be. And so it is. Amen.
winds of heaven. To you all, and all you do is a blessing to the world. You are the heart, you are the hands, you are the voice of spirit, and to you all gives all you do is a blessing to the world.
You keep dropping in and out, Faith. So I hate to interrupt this, but I'm going to cut it off here.
It's for me.
Okay. Uh, this is our opportunity to receive your gifts, tithes, and offerings, and your opportunity to experience and express gratitude for that which you may have already experienced in the physical realm, or that which you have created in the mind of God but may not have already experienced in the physical realm. And so in a minute, I'm going to ask you to go to www.oasiscsl.org. And about 2/3 down the page will be an offering affirmation that I'm going to have you say with me. And then underneath that is a contribute now button. So let me just quickly talk about the contribution, what it means. Because when we were in a facility, there's rent and utilities, and there's all kinds of different expenses that we have. And now that we're not in a facility, we don't have those expenses. However, we are marketing globally because our vision is a healed world. And that is a global world. We already have people from Germany, the UK or England, the Netherlands or Holland, the Philippines and India who watch our stuff, whether they join in person or not. There's like 8 hours difference between us and Holland, for example, in Germany and UK, I believe. I don't know how much the difference is in the Philippines and in India, but I do know that there is a time difference. So there are people that watch during the service, and there are people that come back later and watch. And we see this vision as a healed world, meaning all countries, all planets. And unfortunately, it does take money to be able to market that way. But our mission is to heal the world one person at a time. So when I come on here and I'm spreading God's message, because I'm just the vessel through which it comes, but while I'm doing that, we are healing the world one person at a time. And again, that's a global world, but it does take money to be able to market that. So when you hit that contribute now button, that's what you're contributing to. All right, please go with me now, whether you're watching in real time or later on, to www.oasiscsl.org. And about 2/3 down the page, say this offering affirmation with me right now. This perfect gift is spirit in form, circulating and blessing all it touches. Freely I give and joyously I receive. And so it is. All right, hit that contribute now button and help us get through our mission to our vision. Thank you so much for that. All right. Let me start out with, we have this wonderful team of licensed practitioners from coast to coast that pray every day on requests that you have. So if you would like prayer for something, please put it in the comments section. If you don't want it to be public, please DM Faith, and she'll make sure that what we call our licensed team of practitioners is the God Squad, and she will make sure that the God Squad gets those requests. And again, they will pray on those every day for a week. One of the other things that our practitioners have, ways that they serve, is they are available by appointment for a fee for spiritual guidance. So you reach out to them through Facebook and let them know, let whatever practitioner know that you're interested in a session, they will let you know how to pay for it. I don't get involved in that because every practitioner has their own business. So some of them use Wise, some of them use PayPal, some use Cash App, some use Venmo, Zelle, I think is another one. But I don't get involved in that. They will let you know how to pay for it, and then they'll set an appointment with you, and they will reach out to you via video chat to actually do the session at that appointed time. The third way that our licensed practitioners serve is by being practitioner of the day, which is almost always Oz. He's the only one that seems to be able and willing to do that every Sunday. So Oz is available for what we call our 1 minute miracle. And it's not a time for counseling, but it is a time, or spiritual guidance. It's a time where you can share with him whatever you're experiencing, and he will stop, drop, and pray with you right then and there. So you reach out to him through video chat. If he doesn't answer right away, it usually means he's on with someone else. So try back a little bit later. We are so lucky to have Oz. Please understand that I know what a blessing it is to have a practitioner of the day that is here every Sunday, and support for everything else that he does. I mean, my goodness, the man is just amazing, amazing part of this team. Okay, so let's talk about Brooks and Bailey real quick. Here are the mala beads that I have. Now, these are amethyst. Now, the reason I like the mala beads and the reason I'm so supportive, well, I'm supportive of these women, not only because they're my cousins, but their excellent work and craftsmanship, but also because they do the mala beads. And this is amethyst, so it's like $60. The rest of the mala beads are $30 and up, depending on what gemstone you want. And they also have bracelets that I think are, I can't remember. I'd rather not quote a price than quote the wrong price. But the reason I like these mala beads so much is because the Buddhists and the Hindus use it for their chants. They move one bead at a time, and there's 108 beads on the necklace. And there's 54 on the bracelets. And so I always say, if you're going to do affirmations, do them 100 times a day. And it's a great way to do that. You just move one bead, say your affirmation, and keep going through the whole 108. Or 54 twice, which is what the bracelets are. You can reach them through Brooks and Bailey 0307 at Gmail, or they have a Facebook page, which you can also find them. And all the proceeds go to Rocky Mountain Lab Rescue, which I think is a very worthy cause for them to donate their time and money to. Okay, Faith.
And please check out the Mystic Brew. The website no longer works, but you can still order through Instagram and Facebook at the Mystic Brew 303 by DMing us. Prices are on Facebook. We have intention jars as well as kits to make them yourself and bath salts. We're in the last 2 weeks of being able to order. It will be closing at the end of this year. So please hop on and get something they make great Christmas presents. So please check it out.
Yes, that's a good point. Thank you for that, Faith, because the mala beads, anything from Faith's store. Also, Angel Renee has intention candles and a tea bag that you can put in your bath that has all these aromatic herbs that help you to focus or keep your focus on your intention. All of these are great gifts for Christmas, by the way, as are Reverend Fairy Elaine Silver's music. And Karen Drucker's music. So Reverend Fairy Elaine Silver is unable to update her website to provide a form of payment. So what you do is go on the website, see what CDs you want, and then email her and let her know that you want to purchase a CD. She'll tell you how to pay for it. And she travels around the country singing all the time. So she has them in the trunk of her car, and she's really good at making sure you get them right away. So definitely check her out, both for yourself and for that Christmas gift. You know, we only have one more week of Christmas shopping. And again, you don't have to go in the store. You do it online. It works great. Also, Karen Drucker, her website does work, so you can pay for it right then and there. You can get a song. You can get a whole CD. You can get a songbook. You can have karaoke files in case you like to do karaoke with your friends, or even so that you can just sing it yourself. I mean, all of her songs are so uplifting and inspiring and are so affirming that they're great things to get stuck in your mind. You know how music gets stuck in your mind. So Karen Drucker's music is mostly chants. She does have some music, but it's all designed for us to experience that positive nature that we were born with. So again, great Christmas gift, something for yourself or someone else that you love. And then check out our website at www.oasiscsl.org. There you're going to find video sermons of the last 3 years, audio sermons of years prior, pictures of our spiritual family having events like our ordination. Also, there's picnics and all kinds of stuff, all the celebrations we've done, so you can get to know who your spiritual family is. And then our sermons are available. The video sermons are available on YouTube, and the audio sermons are available on SoundCloud under S. Tucker. So we have various ways for you to get that information. We are working on the website. I promise. I know it's out of date. We are working on it. It's just, we were getting somewhere, and then Lynn fell and broke his hip, and it's just been a crazed last month of flurry of activity that I can't do anything else. So we are going to get it updated. I promise you that. But in the meantime, go and check it out and keep checking out and see. And if you really want to quickly get to something, you can always go to our videos under S. Tucker on YouTube or on SoundCloud. You can get to the audio files. All right, we're going to skip right to Oz doing the prayer here. You're muted.
And I know right here, right now, that God is all there is, and therefore God is in each and every one of us, and all that we see and all that we do. I immerse myself in the blessings that this can enable, and I immerse each and every one of you, knowing that blessings are abounding all around. I know this is good and very good, and I give thanks that it is so, and so it is.
And so it is. Thank you so much. Thank you, all of you, for being here. I know there's 1,000 things you could be doing on a Sunday morning. We're blessed that you joined us. Please join us next week and every week at 10:30 a.m. Next week is the Christmas Eve service at 10:30 a.m. Mountain Time. Yes, we're going to do it in the morning, not at night. So it's 10:30 a.m. Mountain Time. But join us for the Christmas service next week, and then join us every week for our continued services that we offer. Let's see. I think that's about it. Does anybody have anything else? Nope. Okay, good. All right. With that said, stay safe, stay warm for those of you who are in Colorado. For those of you who are around the world where it's cold, stay warm. For those of you who are in this hotter climate, stay cool. But either way, stay safe. We love you. Thank you for being here. Bye.